Look at those eyes. Coming on a cloud, hold up left. You'll get that automatically if you didn't already get there. We're going to sneak on back around here. Let's do that better. Just like so. Quick little hop across. And then right here, you can do something like this. A little pivot in there. Or alternatively, you can do some nice fluid motion like that. Now, I like to do that, but I usually don't get it as fluid. I usually have a slight pivot. So it usually looks something more like, you know, let's just bring this up, why don't we? That's what this is for. See what the bald guy's got to say. Here. Some sort of pivot like that. For the spin jump, it's important to note there is a, you know, a little bit of an awning here. Make sure you're not directly up against this wall. Make sure you come out a little bit to see how where I start. I am, I don't know, a tail's length away. You can also do this a little bit further back. You don't have to be so close to this wall. You can do it here as well. Green gem you can get before or after. They shake out roughly the same. We're going to get it after for the purpose of this. So 01 is our entry. Cut around here. You can do movement like this for this Garuda. Or slightly faster. You can... What can you do? Flame early and turn around like that. You'll get everything. I do like to do a little bit of pivot. You can sometimes do a little bit of a charge into there. I'm going to race this up. At the button is 525. You're going to come around, and now we're going to the any percent and level skips here. So our options are two. There are two options. The one everybody should be able to do is you're going to jump from this corner over here. Come around and kind of hug the right wall. So if you see, there's a little bit of a seam. You can also technically do this from the end of this little accordion. Right here with like a flop, but that's not necessary because you're going for those red gems anyways. It's a little tricky too. So from here, you'll notice this seam. You want to make sure you're high enough. You can be too far left and too low. So there, that was perfectly fine. That's one way in. The other is the more any percent specific jump. Basically for this, I like to make sure I aim for this corner, and I'm going to try to line myself up. I might flick my camera a little bit. I want to aim left of this corner, and I want to kind of come out before I start my glide. Like, that's very important. So as I hit this, I'm holding forward, switch just slightly, jump, turn, and then you're going to turn at the end. And so you kind of want to get a little bit of spinning in there. Be careful not to do this too low, otherwise you will get pushed down as you see me push down there. I like to turn at the corner. So sometimes I hit L2 to put myself with a closer line to that corner, but I don't want to be too far right of it. A couple different ways you can shake this out, but these are the most common. Let's see me hit this. There we go. What we got next is sunseeds. Two different ways you can do this. The easier beginner way is going to look something like this. You can alternatively get this 5 gem basket after you come back around the loop. Don't jump over the stairs, and then obviously you can go that way. You can technically get these vases here, but we're going to get them on the second pass. Technically saves time to get them on the second pass. It's a 0 time thing, essentially. Do something like this. Jumping into glides into charges to get up those stairs. You can do, let me show this a little bit better. Doesn't matter if you get it or not. Anyway, then just finish sunseeds. You can skip cutscenes in this level with triangle. I think it's the only level like that, so keep that in mind. A more advanced strat is going to look something like this. The start, well, no, that's not. You'll just see. Set this up more. There we go. Just get that one gem. We're not going to go all the way around. So round 2 here is very similar until after we get the sunseed. You can do that. You can also run off the edge here, so it's a little bit more drastic, a little riskier. Just run off, turn earlier. Very bad camera there. Make sure you get that green gem. That was the purpose of doing that little movement that I did. You're just clearing that little cul-de-sac. There's nothing more to it. I don't know why I'm going back so much. Now, this movement can be a little bit tricky. You really want to just assume your flames are going to hit and be confident and turn early. So be careful. One, to make sure you hit him here. You can see I flame and then I charge forward, let my momentum carry me, and then I start my pivot. This, you can technically get a continuous charge, a flame charge through it, so that you come around. You can see I like a pivot, and you can see I'm even on this side, so I know I can't continuous charge through. You have enough time to make this work just fine. Only loses you a little bit. Be very careful with this vase. It's very easy to go shallow and miss it. And then the way I like to do that is, there's 2 different ways you can do this ending part. This is a little bit of a tricky spot. So, set something up here. Jump, flame, and then turn. You don't want to do that. That can work, but your best results are dragging the flame fan over. Just like that. So you want the flame fan fully extended, and then you can see I roll over like that. You can alternatively also just flame charge jump. Just slightly faster. I always find it's a little bit more tricky, which is why I default to the other method, but if you're comfortable enough, you can see which ones are working and which ones aren't. There you go. That's sunseeds. Coming on out, we talked to Fluffy here, and we have the option to do Fluffy Flame. If you mess this up, let's just go through it. How about that? If you mess this up and just flame her, this is too late. There we go. If you mess her up and just flame her, you will soft lock, just like so. You can't actually even do anything. So full on lock. Otherwise, you can just skip through this. The benefit of this is, after you skip through Henry, she goes through her animation of leaving, and you can't leave. You can see I'm moving. Now I can leave once she's gone. With Fluffy Flame, you save a few seconds here, and you can actually turn. She doesn't do her animation, she just leaves. Or, you can just move. She doesn't leave. But you got the egg and everything. The way you have to do this, you have to kind of roll. It's not 1 frame after circle the triangle. It's kind of a slow roll. If you do circle after triangle immediate, you will not actually accomplish it. So you do want to delay it like that. Now my visual cue You kind of do need to really focus up for this. Let me see if I can get this right about here-ish. I like to see when this leaving text box lines up with sparks on the left side of the screen. It's even right about here is when I like to go. You see just a few frames after I press triangle immediately after. Not a big deal to do. Triangle obviously skips the cutscene and allows us to accomplish this. So, all together. Go. You can see she doesn't do her animation. I like to pivot and do that. That's somewhat tricky movement. You can also opt to get this 5 gem before talking to Fluffy, and then just do a hard turnaround, 180. This is a little bit of awkward movement, funny movement. You can see I flame as I'm approaching this edge, charge again. There's a gem I'm picking up from the beginning of the drop, and that flame carries into this Garuda, and then I'm just gonna cleanly pick up his gem, just like so. This movement can also be tricky. I'll show you an alternative, easier movement. This is actually pretty well done too. The issue you will oftentimes have is collecting everything right here. Getting this gem while getting this guy. You can see I kind of stagger my right input. There it is, and then I drop it, and then I reinitiate it. So that's one way. It keeps me going left enough to get the gem, but right enough to still get this Rhinoc, and then you can see this down right carries me through, and I want to aim for this. Every now and then, the dead body will break this. Sometimes you're a little bit too slow and it drops on the ground. Other times you're charging straight through it anyways. That works out. The alternative, if you don't like doing that, one alternative, I guess, even with that, is you can do a jump to kind of make your life a little bit easier. But if you don't want to do that, you can do something like this. It's been a bit. Even with the jump, come through, and then finish everything just like you did. Come up here. 37 into 40 is the gem count we're going to have. You can see I just land on the little edge there. Now we've got Gastly's. 2 different ways you can handle this too. Let's go over the more basic route. Very simply, fly low. Make use of the lower speed. Very similar to speedways in that regard. Use some flaps. Go off to the right there to consistently get this guy and skip with triangle. You can down left, transition into an up, is it? Down left, yeah. Don't even need to transition, just flame. I do transition, so. There will be alternatives where this thief is slightly in a different spot. You could be further behind. The general idea is still the same. You might just flame a little bit later or a little bit earlier. If for some reason you miss him, it's very easy to cut him off right here. Just somewhat like that, just kind of around that pillar. Now, all goes right. Skip through this. Finishing movement is going to look something like this. One more. Here. And as you land on this, you can hit X followed by an immediate start input. So you can see I didn't even jump there. And what we're going to do is we're going to conserve our momentum out of this side area. And it's going to allow us to do a little bit of a skip when we get back in the main part of the level. But basically, it is a little bit proportional to how high you, or when you pause in your jump. Not like directly, it's kind of like a threshold. So like if you're low like this, you'll get control of Spyro earlier, coming out of the portal, than if you were up later. And obviously, if you're coming down, you don't want to do that, because you're not going to carry any of that. But you can get it to where you don't even look like you're jumping, and you'll still have gotten it. But to just really quickly demonstrate what I was saying, so here's a lower, and you hold down right, and you mash X. And you can see, no hover required. Now if I do this up higher, same sort of deal. Yeah, it's pretty good still. Even higher, I fell a little bit lower. So, kind of 3 different levels. Obviously the highest was kind of the worst, so get it early and you'll be fine. The more advanced strat is going to look something like this, and then I'll also show you a really quick, pause, jump, exit, jump, pause, exit. There we go. Come down. Be very mindful of the directions that I'm holding for these. That's what I would call out. This is somewhat tricky movement. It's not too bad once you get a feel for it. And this end thing is the cutscene enjoyer by Lulu. It's really cool. You could technically add this in probably to the other route. You would just cut out getting this red gem. You can see that red gem just homes in right there afterwards. So let's start back here. So you can see I enter and immediately just do a single flap, get him, and I'm going straight down. I'm going to really push this flame charge. I do a flap there. I don't think you necessarily need to, but obviously I'm going back down, pushing sparks here, 1 flap, going down, another flap. From here on out, I'm just flapping and holding up. And then for this cutscene enjoyer, you want to kill this Gastly late. So you can see I could have killed him maybe like right here, further back. But I really wait till I'm like right inside of him. I'm going to aim a little bit left. And this is something you do need to get a feel for. That's my quiche. I got to go add some cheese. But let me finish this. You're going to, right before it teleports you, hit square like you see here. And you drop down. You need to let the cutscene start. There is a minimum once it starts before you're allowed to skip it. And you can see I'm mashing start. I could have done triangle, same sort of deal. And that gives you enough time to land. Now, if you're not careful and you immediately skip the cutscene, it'll just go and you won't get the gem. It'll immediately teleport. I'm going to go get my quiche. Alright. Quiche is good. Skip through this. Same sort of deal. You see me holding down left. Switching to up as I turn. Now, if you didn't get the red gem, you just need to go around like you did before. Otherwise, you do a quick little turn, pivot, whatever. We did get some gems early, so we're going to be ending at a different spot. Which is right here. Right as you land, you can, again, just do a quick. You can see I don't even... It doesn't even look like I jump. Still very on the ground. But very low, and everything works out. Just like so. Now, one thing of note. If you die before getting this egg, you won't get zapped by Zoe. You won't have a checkpoint. You'll need to go back up into that side area and do the same momentum conservation thing to get back over here. There's also a chance you can lock up this egg by dying before that, I believe. I'll have to double check that. Over here, this is somewhat of a tricky jump. It's a weird jump. I wouldn't say tricky. It's very easy to die here. It's a little bit of a deceptive ledge. You can see I do a little bit of charging. You don't even have to do this too continuously. You could stop and make sure you're not going to flop off the edge or anything like that, or get a chump jump. Make sure you're we're playing pretty generous with getting this hover as well. And you can see I like to flame as I hover to make sure that I kill that guy before he knocks me off the edge. If you miss him, that could happen. So all together. You can also, you don't even need to run, you can just do a quick jump. You can get these guys any which way you want. You can also go a direct line, these two, and then wrap around like so. Quick little pivot. This you can do in one continuous swoop, or you can just do it, you know, somewhat slower. Charge through, flame, wait for his gem. You don't have to be as fancy. Obviously fancy is kind of fast here. Sometimes this guy will be still in front of this basket. Just be aware of that. You'll need to charge through him and the basket instead of flame charging. You can still probably flame charge. Here you can do something like that. You can see I get that 2 gem early. So as a result, coming out of Stephanie, that's a weird sentence. Coming out of the Stephanie egg cutscene, I'm holding just purely down. And that mostly gets me a good line into this Garuda. You can see it's the same thing as that step down Garuda from before. I am flaming as I'm going off the edge and then charging again to bring that over, do a fluid little jump. If you don't get that, don't fret. It's not the end of the world. You can also really like easily screw it up, so it might just be easier to not go for this. If you don't, you're just going to turn right and take it wider, and then your line is going to be a little bit more left. Same sort of deal. I'm just too close to the edge here. That's why I'm not getting my flame. There we go. Just like so. This, it's one of those ledges that you want to like be very shallow in where you enter. So that's why I jump and sometimes do a glide so that I can cut a charge that takes me directly over the lip as opposed to like going further into the hole here. That was still pretty bad though. But anyways, here, make sure you go right enough to get this gem. We're going to flop up 2 stairs. We're going to then jump and charge another 2 stairs to finish it off. Very simple. Sometimes stairs are just kind of weird to wrap your head around. Just jump. Give yourself enough leeway to charge, jump. Do a nice little pivot here. Flame this guy. You can get his in one continuous swoop like that. Get that fodder. It's a very convenient fodder if you need it. This section can be done. You can see it in the second half. If you struggle with this, jumping like this is actually very recommended. Zoe also has like a big grab range. So if you screw up at all, you might end up talking to her. And it's very easy to bonk. Come out, pivot. Depending on how well you do, these guys will be in slightly different orientations. Now, it's not my favorite, but really good. That's what I usually get. Coming across this gap, 49 is what you see, or into 50 there, 52, however you want to call that one. Make sure you don't miss one of these guys. You can see I kind of like veer a little bit. Right, just like so. Flame nipples here. You'll get a feel for what to do when you get them. So you could see when I approached, they were both just finishing the flame lactation. So I was able to just confidently charge on through. Every now and then, if you don't see them, you might want to just safety jump over the first one. And usually what'll happen is if you jump over one, you typically don't have to jump over the other. It can also be like vice versa. You could charge through this one, then you'll need to jump over that second one. So make sure you don't miss that. 5 gem. That's a bad 5 gem to miss. And then we're going to finish just like so. Do a clockwise little motion here. You can see I ended with 901. 901 is what we're looking for here. Charge through and get the last. You can finish this a couple different ways, but that's the way we do it. Cloud Spires. Yeehaw!